This is the homework solution for the chapter 3/4 test review. This is number 13 through 16, also including 17, 18, 19, and 20. This finishes up the first page. 13, 14, 15, and 16 are linear equations. We have to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept, okay? We can't graph it, right? Unless some of you can graph it and try to get the x-intercept or y-intercept that way. This way, we want to apply what we learn in questions 9 through 12 to help us, okay? Right, you should be aware that to get the x-intercept, you have to let y equals to 0 and solve for x. Here's the equation. 2x plus 3y equals to 12. This is my original equation. Once I do that, I make that substitution. Y equals to 0. Do you see the y? It becomes 0 here. Once you do that, you should simplify. The left-hand side, all you're left with is a 2x. On the right-hand side, you got a 12. To get x alone, you have to get rid of this 2. It's attached via multiplication. The inverse property of multiplication is division. So you have to divide 2 to both sides. Once you do that, x is equal to 6. Notice that we made y equals to 0, then x is equal to 6. It is a relationship. Thus, you write the x-intercept as an order pair is 6, 0. Next, to get the y-intercept, let x equals to 0 and solve for y. Okay, here's the original equation like always, and I'm going to make that substitution. X is equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve for y. What is left over on my left-hand side is a 3y. What's left over on my right-hand side is 12. So 3y equals to 12. I have to divide 3 to both sides, right? 3 over 3 just becomes 1, and 12 over 3 becomes 4. Y equals to 4 only after x is equal to 0, because these two, right, relate to each other. That's why the order pair for the y-intercept is 0, -4. Right? It seems like what we're doing seems correct. Right? So let's continue. Here's 14. My equation is -4x plus 8y equals to -16. To get the x-intercept, you have to let y equals to 0 and solve for x. -4x plus 8y equals to -16. Make that substitution. Y becomes 0. Once you do that, you should simplify into -4x equals to -16, because 8 times 0 becomes 0. X is not alone. It is attached via multiplication by -4. So, how do you get rid of it? The inverse property of dividing by -4. Once you divide by -4, what's left over on the left-hand side is an x. On the right-hand side, it's a +4. The reason why it's a +4 is -16 divided by -4 is +4. The order pair is 4, 0, because x is equal to 4 only when y equals to 0. It is a relationship, thus you write it as an order pair. To find the y-intercept, we do the same. This time we let x equals to 0 and solve for y. Right here, x became 0. Okay, -4 times 0 just becomes 0, so you just write it as 8y equals to -16. 8 is attached to y via multiplication, so you do the inverse property of dividing by 8 to both sides. Once you divide 8 to both sides, what you got left over on the left-hand side is just y. On the right-hand side is -2. The reason why is because -16 divided by 8 is -2. Right? Y is only equal to -2 when x equals to 0. This makes the order pair of 0, -2. Next, let's look at 15. Okay. 15. Y equals to -1/2 x plus 8. This is really good. This is already in slope-intercept form, so I think if you graph it, it might work out much better than just numerically finding it out here. I follow the steps as before. To find x-intercept, I let y equals to 0, then solve for x. Here's my original equation. I make that substitution, y equals to 0, right? This side has a bunch of stuff. I had to subtract 8 to both sides first, because you do the inverse property to the most outward thing first. I simplify. -8 is equal to -1/2 x, right? To get rid of the -1/2, right? To get rid of the divide by 2, this is divide by 2, I multiply by negative 2, right? Negative 2 times negative 8 is 16. So the order pair is 16 comma 0 because x is only equal to 16 when y becomes 0. Next, to find the y-intercept, let x equals to 0 and solve for y. Here's my original equation. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 8. Substitute x for 0. You should see it right there. I should get you y equals to 8. This is always that b value, right? That is why the order pair is 0 comma 8. Next, right, gives us 16. 16 gets us y equals to 2 divided by 3x plus 8, 3. To get the x-intercept, let y equals to 0 and solve for x. Here's my original equation. Make that substitution, y becomes 0. That's what it says, right? And solve for x. I have to subtract 3 to both sides because it is the inverse property of add 3. I deal with the add 3 first because it is the most outward thing in the equation. Okay? Now I have negative 3 equals to 2 over 3x. To get rid of the divide by 3, I have to multiply by 3. Whatever I do to the left-hand side, I do to the right-hand side, and vice versa. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. On the right-hand side, you're left with the 2x. Divide 2 to both sides. Right? You should have gotten x equals to negative 9 over 2. You cannot simplify because 9 and 2 has no GCF. Okay? The order pair is negative 9 over 2, comma 0. Okay? Now, to find the y-intercept, you have to let x equal to 0 and solve for y. Here's the original equation. Plug in 0. Right? This just disappears. Y becomes 3, which is that b term. The order pair is 0, comma 3. Good? Next, we are just going to do some graphing these linear equations. Remember, this is x equals to 2. This is not an order pair. This tells me everywhere x is equal to 4. So this is the only place that x is equal to 4. Down this line, right? It is a vertical line having the slope of undefined. That is x equals to 4. Okay? Next, 18. 18. It is a horizontal line because this is the point in which y is always equal to 0. This is, sorry, negative 2. Y is equal to negative 2 here, y is equal to negative 2 here, y is negative 2 here, and y is negative 2 here. This makes up not negative 2, positive 2. This whole line here, this horizontal line, shows that y equals to 2. This is y equals to negative 3, same thing as 18, but this time I do it for the negative number 3. It is a horizontal line once again. Next, x equals to negative 1. Draw a line down through negative 1 because that is the instance in which all these points here, the x value is negative 1. It is a vertical line that is undefined, right? That is x equals to negative 1. So that wraps up the solution for the first page.